All right, so I wanted to sit down and share my theory or theories with you guys about the Miss Nancy case. I don't know if I'm gonna pull cards today, but I have the cards just in case. All right. So I've gone through a lot of theories. I'm gonna be honest in letting you know that at first I did not suspect any of her immediate family members to be involved with this case. Okay. When I showed, like on day 2, I showed my daughter Jada and T, the daughter and the son-in-law, when they pulled into their driveway and the media converged upon them, they covered their faces. The husband did this with his hoodie, cover his big nose, and the wife was, and Jada thought that was weird. And she said she's 30, so she can voice her own opinion. She's not a little child. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome, by the way. She said, Mommy, you know what? That's odd. That's odd for them to do that. And she said this. She says, I believe that that sister that lives there did it out of jealousy to the other sister that's living in New York having her best life. And she walked away. She didn't know nothing about the case. I didn't really know nothing about the case because I had just heard the news that the woman that went missing in Arizona was Savannah Guthrie's mom. So I thought she walked away, right? Dementia. And when they came on and the sheriff gave his first couple of press conferences, that's when I realized, oh my God, this lady got taken, right? So they've been very close to the vest with what they tell us. But I went back to look at some of those old press conferences, and pretty much they only searched for that lady one night. Literally one night, and maybe part of the next day. And inside of 20 hours, they gave back the house. Now I know that they say, let's say it was a 7-Eleven that a crime happened at. They wouldn't keep the 7-Eleven closed. They would process the scene as quickly as they could, take down the yellow tape and leave. So they're like, why can't they do that to the lady house? Give it back to the family. That's what some people are saying. But I watch a bunch of retired detectives on the interview room, and all 4 of them are kind of like full of themselves. They're nice men, but they are living their glory days. And one of them said, if I came to a scene like this, I would have taken everything. I would have taken the mat, of course, the shrubbery. I would have taken the front gated door, the next front door, the back door. I would have taken everything, and they would have had to come with plywood and board up that house. So that makes a lot of sense to me, right? So I'm still back in that part where, why are they not looking for her? I asked that in the last video. I didn't even realize I had that video. I edited it and uploaded it yesterday, but I had that in that last video. So why are they not looking for her, right? So because even if they think she's unalive, me personally, I would want at least the body, I mean, it would be bones by now, but at least to know, yes, it's her. Yes, she's gone. Yes, I know she's gone. I know where my mom is, right? So a lot of people talk smack about Savannah going back to work, but I just thought that, you know, she has her life to get back to. She was there for a whole month, and she has kids, she has her husband, whatever. She has a life in New York. She said when she was staying there in Arizona, they stayed at Airbnbs, and they had to move from Airbnb to Airbnb because, you know, people were coming for them. Who was coming for them? Not the streamers, not the media. They would have stood back at a safe space for them, right? Who was coming? You don't have to be afraid of them. So who was coming for them? I don't understand that part. So you have to listen to Savannah talk, because she says a lot when she talks. So the last read that I did, I asked if Cameron had Miss Nancy safe up in Vermont, and I think it came up where I think he does. So I went back to find the interview that Savannah did with Hoda, and I typed out exactly what she said, and I don't want to mess it up, so my computer's inside, so I'm going to screenshot it and drop it right here. She said something to the effect of, no one has taken better care of mom than my sister and my brother-in-law, and no one protects mom more than my brother Cameron. Something to that effect she said. I'm going to memorize it too, because I'm going to write it in somebody's chat soon. And that really sparked that interest in me, that you're telling us something without telling us something. So when did they find her? Because I really do believe they found her. Did they find her right after they stopped the searching? Because they stopped searching. You know, she gave all these pleas, right? Addressing the ransom notes. But they didn't really see a ransom note. Those ransom notes got sent to TMZ and the TV station Savannah used to work at in Tucson. So why would the kidnapper not send a ransom note to the family and says, don't go to the police or else yada yada yada? Why would the kidnappers leave that house so immaculate? That's the word they use. The house was immaculate. How did Savannah know that they took her from her bed in her bare feet? Did they have cameras in the room that picked up exactly what happened and they know what happened? Did they see her become unalive on camera? And what about the blood on the front porch? Because that wasn't there when the masked man got there. And I still wonder if that's a woman. I told you guys before, I'm not really married to the woman idea. But I keep it in the back of my brain because there was a specialist, a speech language, whatever specialist, that did body language right after the thing happened, and he took the video down. And he showed us in every way, shape, and form that that was a woman. And the thing that convinced me was the little finger, because me and my husband weigh the same amount. And his little finger is way fatter than my little finger. Okay? So I still am not sure if that's a dude. It could very well be a girl. All right? I'm going to leave room for that. I won't be shocked if it's a girl, but I'm not 100% convinced that person is a girl. The perp at the front door. So this is my theory, my working theory that I'm going with. Whoever kidnapped her, and I believe it was A&T. We're just going to start using initials. I feel like they went in after she went home. Let's work with the working theory that she went home. They went in the house later, woke her up from her sleep. She probably didn't hear them come in because she didn't have her hearing aids in. And they told her that there was a threat to Savannah and that they needed to get her out of there to safety. And they took her to safety. Right? Not really a true kidnapping. They took her to safety. And Cameron has been keeping her safe since then, because why Cameron not looking for his mom? Right? So let's say that's a fake kidnapping, and what happened was the church people called too quickly, and then law enforcement had to get involved, and now it's blown out of proportion, and blase, blase, blase. Right? Maybe there was a true threat to Savannah. Couldn't see which one had the H's in there. So not a real kidnapping, but a kidnapping for safety. And there was really a threat to Savannah, and all of them know what's going on, and they're all actors. One theory completely. The blood, they might have, if that theory is the true thing, and they took her out of there from her sleep, that is really her blood on the ground, and it did come from her nose. I always believed the blood was a nosebleed. Yada yada. Now let's go with another theory. Let's say they really kidnapped her for nefarious reasons, the same two people, and they did it. If they did it for nefarious reasons, it would have been for money and freedom combined. I think I've read before where it probably was freedom, but a lot of times money came up. By the way, I might make a podcast and put all the Nancy readings in the one podcast, so I can find them easier in between the other readings. So, what was I going to say now? Yeah, so let's say it was for nefarious reasons, the same two people, and they involved at least 3 to 4 other people, and I believe everybody who has been detained so far by law enforcement is involved. That's my belief, my speculation. No way to prove this, not accusing anybody. But they were especially the guy Luke, they stopped him in the street in his Range Rover or whatever and searched him there and searched his house and put his mom to the neighbor's house. They did the most with him. Then he went and did this interview where he was cloaked up in the heat and it was hot in the studio, and he did weird interviews. Mom did a weird interview. So let's say they were all involved. It was about money and freedom, and then something happened, either to where she became unalive, or something happened to where she became too much to handle, and they dumped her in the desert in Rio Rico where the first guy was detained, and then she got rescued, because I can't get past that helicopter rescue that they did when they took an 84-year-old victim rescued from the desert in Rio Rico to the hospital. They didn't say they got her from her house for a medical incident. She was rescued. Who the hell was that? But that was on day 10. They stopped looking for her like on day 2 or 3. What does Savannah know? I feel like she knows something. I've always suspected that if the sister over there, A, did it, that the brother and Savannah would cover for her. she seems a little bit off. Like she's on some type of spectrum. I don't know which one, but some type of spectrum. You know what? I like her artwork. I kind of like her poetry. I don't think just because of her dark poetry that she did this. Nah, poetry has nothing to do with this. I like her dark poetry. I like her jewelry that she makes. I've seen some of them. I like their political views, her and the mom. You know, I could get with these people. So I don't want them to be the ones that did it. But yesterday, another guy that I watched named Da Juice was out at the house, and some neighbor came. There was a former neighbor that was friends with Nancy. She said, we don't know. And she pretty much was telling him a story. I had my headphone pressing it like this because he didn't mute the mic on his camera, but he went far enough away that I could only hear him. And then he was just, what? But he was asking questions and was trying to fill in the blanks based on his questions, but I don't think I heard enough to repeat anything, and I don't want to stir up no trouble for nobody. But when he came back, he was visibly shaken, the guy Juice. And he said, I've tried to get my mind off of the family, but after talking to her, and she's asked me not to reveal anything. We don't know what she looks like, who she is or whatever. I'm not going to reveal anything because I want to be respectful of, if I tell you it's confidential, it's confidential. But now I'm thinking the family again. I said, Ave Maria. So, I saw the people at the interview room, the detectives say that you could very well plant that blood even though it had like mucus in it, to say it came from the nose or the mouth. I figured they would squeeze it out of an injector, like a meat injector rather than a turkey baster, because that squirts everywhere. If you don't have it in the meat, it squirts everywhere. So maybe that. And then Monk's Intrigue, who I adore, had said that the mark in the blood, one spot of the blood had a mark, was the glove when the guy like touched his hand like that. No, I watch Mama D at True Crime 1111 or 1111 True Crime, the lady that I want to print my cards for me. I watch her, and she showed where it was a dolly tire. I believe that. That looks more like that to me. And finally, Monk's Intrigue made a video saying it's a dolly tire. I went to Mama D and go, did you see Monk's Intrigue? And she goes, yep, he's catching up with us. I love all these sleuths, but I don't want to be a sleuth. I just want to read cards. What else? Does Cameron know something? I have a lot of questions, but I don't know if I want to pull cards today. Does Cameron know something? Does Savannah know something? We're going to ask. Let's do Lenormand, and we're going to ask about Cameron. Is he involved? And I don't necessarily mean like he did something to harm his mom, but maybe he's involved in the protection of his mom, based on what Savannah said. See? A question appeared. I'm sorry for the long intro, guys, but I'm always going to warn you if I'm not going to read cards, and then I'll put like the timestamp down below to let you know that I read cards, so you can know. No. Let me shuffle again. I wanted to find him. I want to find the man. Let's find the man. Cut the deck. Let's look for the man. We're going to designate. Oh, the man came right up at the beginning. So one card goes ahead of him, and then him, and then 3 cards go behind him. So the Holy Ghost is kind of picking the cards right now, guys. The whip, the man, the ship, the moon, and the clouds. Okay. I have some theories, but let me get my Lenormand book. You know, Joshua asked me why don't I make my own set of Lenormand cards, but I don't know that I want to do that. I like Erica's cards. How would I get a picture of a ship? I don't want to do AI. I would like to do it with real humans. You know what? I'm going to say maybe. Maybe. But I have to know if I want to do real pictures or if I want to do like graphics. First of all, I have to know if I want to really do it. I'm going to go look at the cards and see if images come to me about what I could do. Alright, so the first one is the whip, which is 11. If I did my own cards, I would put the meanings on my own cards. I wouldn't have to go look in this book. Look, I'm getting at it. Don't mess with me, Josh. Don't give me these ideas. Okay, so why is it in Spanish? No, not Spanish, girl. 11. It's about anger, arguments, rough sex, if you know what I mean, pain. That's what the whip is about. God, I hope it's not a stranger and they didn't rape this lady. Then the man, I picked the man to be, in the middle, but it came second. And then the ship. We're asking if Cameron has something to do with this. Either just keeping her safe, or did he do the harm? The ship is about travel, journey, vacation, long distance. What do you guys think? What do you guys think I'm thinking? I'm thinking Cameron has her. But I'm that kind of person, when I get a thought in my head, I can't get rid of it. 32 is the moon. The moon. This is about words, dreams, intuition, illusions, romance. It's not about secrets. In tarot, the moon is about secrets. It says its keywords is dreams, intuition, illusion, romance. And then the last one is the clouds, and I believe the clouds is about confusion. 6. Doubt, unclear, confusion. Let's pull tarot to get a fix on whether, to get a clarification. We're going to clarify this whip. Let's clarify this whip. We're going to pull 3 cards, and my card was shuffled really well before I put it away, so we don't have to shuffle long. Let's pull 3 cards on the whip. Why did this whip come up? What does it mean, Basil? The ship, I think, is the travel. I'm not going to pull any on the ship. Let's pull some on the moon. Pull 3 on the moon. 1, 2, 3. Let's read these first. 7 of Cups. When have we seen our friend 7 of Cups? Has not come up in a long time. It says many choices, illusions, delusions, fantasy. Remember, this used to come up all the time, and I wondered why. The next one is the 9 of Cups. Fulfillment, satisfaction, gratitude, luxury. And that's to clarify the whip. And then the Queen of Cups. And we did say Annie. We labeled the last video. We said Annie is going to be the Queen of Cups because of the psychic abilities that she has. I really do believe she has psychic abilities. So what was that whip about? Were they abusing this lady physically? When the thing first happened, somebody left an adult. You know how they have child protective services? They have adult protective services, and they left a card on the door, and the sheriff explained it, saying that they come out every time there's a missing person. No, they came out the day the night before she went missing, or the day before or the day after she went missing. They came out. They take a while to come out after you make a phone call. 2 of Pentacles, balance, multitasking, juggling. That's the moon. Who's multitasking? The 3 of Wands is about going forward, expanding. That guy, Juice, when he came back to the camera, he said he felt like A&T wanted the house. Sell their house and then take that house. 2 of Wands, another 2, planning, decisions, discovery, crossroads. That's the moon. Let's pull 1 for the clouds. Not 3, but 1. Let's see if we can do it with 1. Get this one. The King, am I put upside down here? The King of Swords. Authority, discipline, truthful, reliable. Do we want to give this to Cameron? Do we want him to be the King of Swords? Because we have to start labeling these people. He's disciplined. I feel like he's reliable. He's just kind of cold. Let's pull 1 for the ship. Are you liking this way better? I love doing the card reading channel, guys. This one? This one, Holy Ghost, this one. 10 of Wands is the ship. Burden, overloaded, stressed. Miss Nancy was stressed. She was stressed out. From all the cards that I pulled, guys, I'm going to say yes. Cameron, he had something to do with it. Not just know something about it. He had something to do with it. But I don't think it was to do harm. I think it was to protect. Did they really receive some credible threats to Savannah? And did they do it and not include Savannah in on the plans? What should I pull for the gush? What should I pull for the gush? Let's do Lenormand and ask, point blank period, is Miss Nancy still alive? We usually ask it of Tarot, right? We're going to ask Lenormand. We're going to put Miss Nancy, we're going to put the woman in the middle. Let's look for her. Jesus, she came up right away as the first one. So 4 cards have to come behind her. See, sometimes you want to do something and the Holy Ghost say, I'm going to do something else. Okay? The next card. The next card. The next card. Why is this one upside down? I don't read reverse, okay? You guys, I think Miss Nancy's still alive. I know I look stupid. I know it's a long shot. I know I don't know what the hell I'm doing reading tarot. Although I've gotten a lot of things right for my daughter's friends with their jobs and stuff and opportunities. But we got the woman. We tried to put her in the middle and she came in as the head of the sentence. The woman. We got the birds. We're gonna look it up in the book, okay? We got the man. Who is the man? It's not the perp. It's her protector. What did Savannah say? No one's protected my mom more than, and she said my mom, not our mom. I watched that. The tree, long life, and the child. What is the child about? Let's pull tarot before we look up the meanings. Let's pull tarot to see what is the child about. I don't understand why the child came in there. Okay, we're going to pull this one on the bottom. The 7 of Cups. Illusions, delusions. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let's pull one for the man. Let's pull one for the man. Because I think the man's Cameron. This one. He's stressed out. Cameron is stressed out. What the hell? Okay, let me put this in the box before I lose my cards all over the place. Let's look up the book. Okay, so the woman, well, the woman is Miss Nancy. So number 12 is the birds, and it's about gossip, communication, social media, meetings, and siblings. The next one is the man. Let's see what they say about the man. We usually don't read about the man or the woman because we pick them for the middle, right? It's about masculine and important male, a person or the person getting the reading. An important male. And then the tree again, we read that in the last part, in the first part of the read. It's about family, tree, growth, ancestry. What's up, baby? What's up? I'm gonna come in right now. The last one is the child. It's about new beginnings, a young person, immature, starting out. Somebody brought up Annie and Tomaso's son, and they said he's 18, but I don't think he's 18. I think he's about 12 or 13, so I'm not going to talk about him. You know, he's a kid. I feel like the kids should be protected. But what about Tomaso's son? I think he has a son that's not Annie's. Who is this child? One of the grandkids? Not saying that the grandkids did anything. I'm saying maybe they're with her, looking out for her. What do you think about this read? I think this is interesting, and I think she's still alive, and I'm gonna look like a whole dummy if it turns out that she's been unalive since day one. It's me again with some more gush after the gush. So I didn't remember that I had that one episode before this one to put up, the one where I'm wearing the striped blouse, and that's the one where I asked if Nancy's still alive, and I asked Tarot. In this one I asked Lenormand if Nancy's still alive, but after I'm editing the video I realized that the tree could also signify something else. I think Nancy's still alive because I saw the tree, which means long life, but it could actually mean the long life that she already lived, to be the good ripe age of 84. So you see how you kind of have to like use your intuition to figure what is going on in the storyline. So put a pin in this one. As of today, I'm gonna say I still think she's alive and being hidden by somebody, but that tree could definitely mean something else. And by the way, because I've had a couple of days since I edited the video and uploaded the first one and then this one, I made my Lenormand deck. I took some of the pictures myself, like maybe 5 of them out of the 36, and then I got pictures from Pexels, P-E-X-E-L-S. I put pictures there too that everybody download and uses, and so other users will allow you to use their pictures, and you can use it for monetary gain also, because they can use mine for monetary gain. But I got a lot of the pictures from Pexels. I'm gonna do a quick slide here to show you how they are. 36 cards. I have one more to make, which is the whip, because I can't find a good picture of the whip, because at Pexels it's just the one that they use as a Segs toy. I don't want the whip to look like that. But look at my rider. I got a good picture for the rider, and then some of them I took my own. I think the ring I took, the book. There's some of them that I could do. The tree, I still want to go do a different one with the tree. I can't do the clouds because there's no clouds in the sky. But I have 36 cards, and now I don't know how I'm going to get them printed, because when I went to make playing cards, which is where I made these ones, I don't think they do like 36 in a deck. They just do the 78 for the tarot, and to get it done elsewhere it's like over $100. But I'm still in touch with that one content creator that does sleuthing and card reading, because she prints her own cards, and I would want to ask her to print them for me. If not, I've investigated it extensively into what printer I would need and what paper I would need, and I found something that I can afford. Well, I still can't afford it because I have to save towards it, but it's $200 for the printer. It's $248, but it's on sale right now for $219, and then the paper is like $20 for a stack of maybe 20 or whatever. And so I can maybe print my Lenormand deck and print my tarot deck over, and I don't know that I'd be able to do the box. I already did a design for the box, and I would try, but for this box for sure I would definitely try. But we definitely need a new printer no matter what. Even if I don't print my own cards, we need a new printer because the printer that we're using sucks. So you see how Joshua gave me that idea a while back and I wasn't with it, and suddenly it kind of hit me that you need your own deck because this one is foolishness, and then I made my own deck.